Okay, let's see. Oh, all right. Just so you know, I'm doing 2 cat-based games because of Bogart's auspicious cameo last episode. Okay.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Hello, everybody. Thanks to Bogart interrupting the stream last time, we're going to do a couple of cat-based games to unbox. So first, we're going to start with Isle of Cats because it is a bigger box, which means he has a bigger thing to sit in when we unbox the second game, Calico. Both are supposed to be excellent games. They're both cat-based games, so how could they be bad? And hopefully these will lure Bogart on screen so
Hey,
we
Al.
can finally see him. What?
What are you doing?
We're doing cat games this time because Bogart got such a good response and he barely even appeared last time. I figured we would do cat stuff and maybe get our viewership up.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think my daughter would be really, really interested in unboxing. Is that Isle of Cats, did you say?
Isle of Cats and Calico.
I mean, I'm tempted. I really am, but let's stick to the plan. We're here for Dodgeball, so we should. As popular as Bogart is, I think Bogart's Majesty deserves a show all of its own.
This is probably true. He's got way too much personality to be on this show.
Yeah, to be contained by Thunderballs. So as you might be able to hear, certainly myself and I think Al a little bit, we're a little bit under the weather this week. So I must apologise for any sniffs or just awful noises that come forth from us. Showing up on your sick day, I'm tripling Ryan's pay. Whoa! Triple pay, Al. You heard it here.
Yay.
Wow, we're going to be
I love
raking
how
in.
you get triple pay, I get nothing.
Yeah, you're dead to him. That's just outrageous. I'm considering going on strike in support of SilentAl not getting anything less than quadruple pay.
Ooh,
He's got Bogart to feed, right? You know, we've got to do this.
That is honestly, that is why I go to work every day. I got to keep him fed, or I have a feeling he'll start eating me.
Oh, you're for the absolute chop. Yeah, it's a well-known fact. Okay, well, welcome to round 9. It is the final round of season 8, and it's a good one. It all gets decided here, Al. We've got a championship that can be won. We've got lots of people in the hunt. So let's see what we're looking at. So as we go into round 9, we can see the table there, and we've got Sweet Catch of Mine sitting at the top, a win ahead of the rest of the pack. Dodge Like an Egyptian, Donut Stop Reviving, and Never Gonna Get You Hit. All in the hunt, all potentially able to tie up that spot if Sweet Catch of Mine slip up. And then the rest of the table are at this stage playing for pride. We've got My Ball on Ya, Janie's Got a Ball, Dodgy Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and then For Whom the Ball Tolls, and Dodging in the Dark, trying to avoid Should I Stay or Should I Throw, potentially winning and placing them at the bottom, if that's even mathematically possible. But we'll
So Dodgy Deeds played only 7 games, or is their record wrong?
Oh, the record's probably wrong. I didn't update it because wasn't that game the slow one from the last week?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. It's probably 4-4, and that's my bad. Yet again, another thing to upset Adam in the grand scheme of things going on. So let me just close this window because I do not need that. So yeah, it's close at the top and close at the bottom, and the middle of the sandwich is, as always, quite filling. So we've got precious little TL this week, but we do have just a little bit, and you can hear my dog grumbling in the background at the lack of tea. But let's see what we do have. It is apparently Court 5, Al, this week was the subject of an investigation when performance-enhancing steroids were found in a duffel bag to the side of the court. Osmosis Brent was led away in cuffs from the scene, loudly declaring that he didn't drop the duffel bag there, and it certainly wasn't for the use of Sweet Catcher Mine's opponents, and that the commissioner couldn't prove anything anyway. He later confessed to all charges, including the one about crimes against comic timing. And then it's also come to my attention, Alan, and this may take some explaining for our younger viewers, but Sandra Sullivan, aka Super Grandma, has a secret way of contacting people in the dodgeball community. She's got a Rolodex that she keeps. Now, for those of you not familiar, a Rolodex is a rather antiquated system these days, which is literally a device where you have a card and you have someone's contact details on it, and it's on like an almost circular hook, a ring, and you can just flip through them, rather like you flip the dialing chain of a very old phone. But she's been putting that to old school use this week, Al, and people should be afraid, very, very afraid. But that does bring us to the matches. Court 1, we've got Sisso Sit trying to avoid being the last team standing at the dance, up against those donuts, the middle-aged the middle-aged white dudes, and we'll see what happens here. The game begins with predictably Sisso Sit ending with less than a half of the race balls as Donut stopped
Should we
reviving, grabbed 4 of them.
point out though that didn't Sissosits have to have a replacement player?
They did. We should point that out. Viselis, formerly of Sisso Sit, was replaced this week by Drew the Rat, stepping in to fill the breach. A super sub, as it were. This can happen from time to time. But yes, well mentioned, Al. Drew the Rat stepping in for Viselis as he takes a well-earned break from Dodgeball in the
Ellis had
last.
the nerve to even change his. Yeah, he even changed his name on Facebook. So when I tried to tag him for the races, I couldn't even find him.
That's
Like
how
he went
little.
into like
That's how little he
yeah.
cares about should I stay or should I throw his chances this season.
Is that what it was? I thought he went into some sort of dodgeball witness relocation
He's
program.
changed his name. It might have been. You might be right, Al. It could be things that have gone on in chat, and he's literally flounced out and demanded relocation and a safe place to stay. Maybe he's on Super Grandma's Rolodex. We'll never know. But donuts get 4 of the race balls. However, it's Agent C13, your boy Timmy, who begins the game catching and eliminating Commissioner Cranky Day, forcing him to sit his butt down and watch the rest of the proceedings before Super Sub Drew the Rat follows up, catching and eliminating Captain Chasmo. So the donuts, having won 4 of the race balls, already lost half of those and have 2 players sitting out. Super Grandma can't take out Osmosis Brent despite a lot of taunting, and I believe Brent's claiming, perhaps erroneously, that Grandma has him on a record of 2 versus 998. I don't think that's true, but it was 999 after that game because she couldn't take him out, but she did retain the ball. Poop Deck avoids Rollin Par's attentions before Rollin Par dodges Poop Deck's returns. But he does get her on the 3rd try, eliminating Poop Deck, putting her to the bench as Sethestral follows up, taking out Sarah T. So both captains down, and it's two bums apiece, and there are five left on each side of the court. Now, Agent C can't take out Wet Yeti, and Simply Steph dodges Roland Parr's attentions before Lux avoids Osmosis Brent, but it's one Carlos catching Super Sub Drew the Rat and reviving Cranky Day back into the proceedings before Super Grandma, caring not for any of the other ongoing problems, takes out Sethestral, who's actually been having quite a good run, just in general. So Super Grandma kicking him to the curb there. Simply Steph, apparently not happy that Commissioner is back on the pitch, or the court, I should say. Takes a couple of bites at the cherry, but does eliminate Cranky Day again. And Agent C13 puts on his hunting gear and goes into the Vancouver Hills and hunts down a Wet Yeti before Drew the Rat catches Osmosis Brent and revives Poop Deck. So a really kind of vicious passage of play there that swings the game heavily against the Donuts as they see more of their comrades fall. Drew the Rat then goes on to eliminate one Carlos, ballsily throwing at him, because why not? And then Simply Steph, known perhaps for throwing catches more often, catches Sethestral and revives Captain Sarah T before she throws, maybe foreshadowed, a catch to Osmosis Brent, who revives Chasmo, because they can't help themselves but revive their players. That's kind of their game. We've then got a couple of misses going on, a couple of dodges. There's Drew the Rat and Chasmo and Royal Empire and Agent C13 getting involved. One Carlos can't pin down Super Grandma. Before Super Grandma finally gets her man and does eliminate Osmosis Brent. He suggested it was going to happen at the start of this game, and she makes good on that, ticking his name off on her Rolodex and making sure that he is done. Roland Parr can't take out Simply Steph, but Sarah T can eliminate Chasmo, and she also catches and eliminates Osmosis Brent for the double tap. And then Drew the Rat takes out Roland Parr to finish that game off. And actually, Al, not only is that a win for Sisso Sit, but rather humiliatingly for Donut Stop Reviving, It's a clean sweep. They are
Ooh,
absolutely battered, and it's 7-0.
that's tough because Donut Stop Reviving was in a position that if they won, they had a chance at the
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to that
championship.
table. Let's go back to that table, Al, and just look there. They
'Cause-
were. They could have tied up. They were 5-3. A win would have put them level with Sweet Catcher Mine, forcing
Right,
Sweet Catcher Mine to need the victory for a clear championship, or pushing it to a potential decider.
right. So essentially, at the start of the match, I say we, but it was looking like if Sweet Catch of Mine got upset and Dodge, Donut, Never all won, then we'd have a huge log jam at the top. So already
Yeah,
we're seeing Donut Stop Reviving taking themselves out of the contention.
yeah, absolutely. Sisso Sit wrecking any chances that Donut
Right.
had of playing in
Huge upset.
any kind of championship decider. Only the second game they've won all season, and perhaps questions being asked of why Drew the Rat was left up against the gym wall when teams were picked. I mean, clearly
Right.
came in had a huge impact on that game.
Well, and this is the second week in a row we've seen a huge performance from a replacement player. So is it that they're coming in with fresh legs and everyone else is sort of tired from the long season? I mean, this is one of the longest seasons we've ever had.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, or is it just, luck of the draw? And, maybe as a captain, maybe I should have kicked a few people off my team and gotten some sweet, sweet replacement players for
I know what
like
you
mercenaries for a
I know
round.
what you're talking about, Al. I mean, this clearly the last two rounds clearly show that a super sub is much like Manchester United in the 80s, and Robin's definitely a good tactic to have. The impact
Oh,
player coming off the bench.
Vori Zori apparently is getting his panties in a bunch because we keep forgetting about Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
Well, if they finish their games on
That they're
if they finish their games on time,
Yeah, maybe if they would finish their games in a timely fashion, we would care about what they did.
I mean, those living in glass houses shouldn't throw stones out, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So, MVP for Court 1, I'm presuming it's coming from Scissor Sit, obviously, because they won.
Right. So it's going to be another sub, Drew the Rat. 2 hits, 2 catches. He won his race ball, and he had an 86% win rate.
Oh, that's a fantastic performance by anyone's metric.
Right. And to come in last game of the season, and, and we saw in the chat he was having a little trouble remembering all the rules and ins and outs, but was able to win games, which is essentially what you got to do in dodgeball.
I mean, one thing I do remember from this game, actually, now that you mentioned the chat, is that not only did Drew the Rat get dragged in by Ms. Machen into Stephanie into the Scissor Sit chat, but I think one Carlos was also clamoring to be put into that chat so he could dish dirt on his teammates where they couldn't hear him as well. So Scissor Sit chat obviously being a popular place to basically play all the smack talk out.
Right.
But we'll move on to Court 2. And this one is Dodging in the Dark. So now under a little bit of pressure. Scissor Sit have won. They've got level on games with Dodging in the Dark. What can Dodging in the Dark do to respond? And up against Dodge Like an Egyptian, who themselves, as we saw previously from that table, are vying for that like championship playoff kind of spot there.
Right.
So it's really all to play for in this one. And the game begins, Al. Let me just bring up the L chart here because it's not already there. I was super organized today and in no way spent an hour and 3/4 watching Dion Lunsford and Connor go through the WWBC round 7, which if you haven't checked it out, by the way, actually is a really good watch. A good interesting roundup from those guys if you're into Commanders, but I'll maybe pop a link to that somewhere later on. But this is about Dodgeball, and we're going to talk about dodging versus dodge like an Egyptian. Now, dodge like an Egyptian, accustomed to coming away with more race balls than not. They actually only came away with one this time, Al. JP runs funny, winning the ball in his race against MTG in real life, but every other Egyptian losing out to a dodger in the dark. And so it's advantage Rip's team as Yarboa gets the game off by getting caught by Seabus Ripper and immediately eliminated. Guianos replying by taking out Artemis very early. Perhaps a surprise there, but really stamping his captainly authority on the game. We got a couple of dodges from Cisco and Markbot before Cisco catches Markbot and brings Artemis back into the fray. JP making good use of his ball, but doing something that I know, Al, is not your favorite. He goes straight back at his race partner, MTG in real life, and eliminates her. Sato dodges Rip and Markbot dodges Alvarez before DG3 takes the Mystic's head clean off with his first throw of the game. And Markbot takes out Cisco Alvarez, an important scalp there, as Darth Binkley takes out Jester 204. And all of a sudden, things are looking maybe a little bit grim for the Egyptians. We've then got, again, another passage of play that we see from time to time where people can't quite get their beat on their opponents. We've got Binkley dodging JP, we've got Agent Sato dodging Rip, and then DG3 and JP basically taking themselves off to the side of the court and playing patty cake as DG3 throws 4 balls at JP in succession, the same ball, it might be added. Misses the first 3 times but gets his ball back. But finally, JP cannot resist the attemptions of pushy DG3, and finally he gets his man, knocking him back to the bench. We've then got Captain Sato catching Binkley and reviving the bus, and then eliminating Captain Rip. So bringing it back again for the Egyptians there. And Agent Sato then takes up Markbot 3000, but Markbot 3000 takes out Sato in one of those lovely moments where 2 people knock each other the fuck out. I do love to see that. It's just simultaneous knocking outs. And they're both knocked to the benches. Guianos takes out Artemis again before Seabus dodges DG3, and Agent Sato's Zombie Ball takes out Binkley. But it's DG3 taking out Seabus Ripper and clinching the game for dodging in the dark. And they are left standing with just Guianos and DG3 left standing, and every single Egyptian is wiped out and consigned to the history books. As we, again, let's go back. Let's just go back to that table. And regardless of anything else going on, that's another one of those competitors that Sweet Catcher might have to worry about knocked down. And so now it's just a couple. It's just dodgy deeds done dirt cheap, and it's never going to get you hit. Who can possibly challenge Sweet Catcher Mine there for the top of the table clash? And
right, and that's assuming that Sweet Catcher Mine gets upset in their game too, which we've just seen 2 pretty major upsets. This may be the week for it.
I mean, if there's going to be a week for upsets, we've seen 2 out of 2, Al. So who knows? Anything is possible. But
all right,
the game is over.
For 3.
What about? Did you not want to do a? What are they called? MVP.
Oh, do we want to do MVPs for this one?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, I guess
it's your shout.
Well, Guianos won all of his games, which is impressive.
That is.
However, he only played 5 games.
Okay, less impressive.
So I'm gonna give it to DG3 because he won more games than Guianos even played. So we're gonna give it to DG3.
That seems fair.
3 hits, 2 dodges, 83% win percentage. I mean, he played 12 games and he won 10 of them. He won double the amount of games that Guianos even played. So we're going to give it to Daryl just because he played more.
That seems fair. But good job to both of those players, notably both the last players standing in that match. So they did really well to
That's
pull out
true.
that win. And again, Daryl having a good game and dodging in the dark winning. So it's maybe a link there. On to court three though. While I know you were keen for this one. Spoilers.
Yeah. If we rush to it, maybe it'll be finished by the time we finish our rundown
I was
here.
I was going to say spoilers. This game is not yet finished. So despite the shade we were throwing at dodging in the dark, we are so guilty of being involved in a
Yeah.
game that is also not yet
I
done.
would just like to point out we're not the guilty ones. It is apparently an army of penguins marches very, very slow.
It really does. So we start the game, and it's advantage. It's advantage to. Excuse me. Sorry, it's advantage to for whom the ball tolls, as they get four of the race balls. However, Corey Bear comes out swinging and takes Bad Wolf's head clean off with the first throw of the game before Bahamut takes out Bagsman and Penguin Army able to play very quickly and eliminate Lady Stacy 7 at the beginning of the match there. Then Bad Wolf misses Mkola with a zombie ball, but in possibly, and I'm going to say this, Al, arguably the greatest upset of the round. Zim 108 eliminates Mkola in a game that traditionally, going back through pretty much every season we've ever seen, is a gimme for Mkolo and might have something to do with the fact that they were in different states and Zim felt brave enough to come out of his blanket. I don't know. I don't know what your take is on that game.
Maybe. I all I know is M has been headhunting Zim since she called dibs on him as soon as she was drafted
Yeah,
and immediately let us all down.
she did. There was one game that we were all banking on being a win for the Rick Rollers, and this was it. And Emily, unfortunately, unable to produce the goods as Zim comes out on top. Now, Al, you felt compelled to rescue her honor. Zim threw at you, and you dodged that, but then you couldn't take him out. However, Thestral did catch the ball you sent her way and eliminated your good self, though your zombie ball did take Zim out. So justice for Mkolo there. Corey Bear then gets involved and takes out Thestral because hurting captains is not okay. And Clever Missy eliminates Deanna B before I come back from my 5 nights stretch and just casually take out Ninjanin like it's not a big thing. And I'm still not quite sure how that happened, but there we go. Ninja misses with his return ball to my face, and Bahamut eliminates Clever Missy. Now at this point, if I remember rightly, I said, "Are they all tied up? Who should I throw at?" And you said, "If you're feeling brave, throw at Penguin." So I did. Then Thestral missed Corey Bear with her zombie ball. Penguin Army. So we played fairly promptly, and then it got to a point in the game where he could be hit, and then he disappeared for forever. I don't know if it's cold in the Arctic, and that means that you have to sleep for longer. But I thought, perhaps naively, Al, that he's got nothing. My next hand is going to hit him, and that's why he's delaying. But no, it was a perfect Rickroll on my hopes and dreams because he came back with all of the healing, and then I could only miss him and not got him back. But my third throw, my throw actually to him, he caught it, so I was eliminated. So then Corey Bear gets back into business, taking out Bahamut. He tries to pin the penguin down. He can't. He dodges the penguin's throw, but he misses the penguin back. He catches Bahamut's ball, reviving Baggio, and Bahamut and Penguin Army both eliminate Corey Bear, getting double tap there. He does, however, get 4, I repeat, 4 zombie balls off at the penguin. And the penguin dodges every single one. And then he threw back at Baggio, and Baggio dodged. And that's where we're at. It's a mano a mano Baggio Bagsman versus Penguin, and I'm not sure when that game will end. Maybe by season 9, we'll see an end to that game. But
Maybe.
in traditional fashion, Al, with no game end, there's no MVP. So this could
Right.
this could yet
No MVP.
this could yet end in a win for Never Gonna Get You Hit, which would apply pressure to Sweet Catch of Mine were they to lose and force a playoff potentially. Or if Dodgy
Right.
Deeds win, force a 3-way tie and then break a sadness. But let's move straight to Court 4, where we'll find out what happens with Dodgy Deeds as they play Janie's Got a Ball. Because we don't have to worry about any silly MVP decisions. So
Nah.
Dodgy Deeds get off to a great start with 5 of the race balls to Janie's 2. But it's Janie's who start off strongly as Dusto catches and eliminates Alderin with the first throw of the game. And then Riska catches and eliminates Tatiana with the second throw of the game. So Dodgy Deeds just basically throwing 2 catches immediately.
So they should have named their team Janie's Got a Catch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that would have been very apt. We've then got a passage of play where basically nothing happens. Cyberduck and Compton P just basically playing with each other, missing an awful lot. Sabella dodges Racker's throw before Vorizori can't nail down the Ass Clown, and Dakaran dodges Dusto. But Vorizori perhaps churlishly eliminates in real life friend Riska. I'm sure he'll pay for that dearly when next they meet up for a coffee. And Compton and Cyberduck are still on their BS before that Sean guy, a name we don't hear that often this season, catches Ball 7 from PC Load Letter, reviving Alderin, bringing him back into the fray. Cyberduck getting some revenge for that, a slight, and taking out Dakaran for his heroics in bringing back Alderin. Sabella dodges and Tuna Slap misses before Vorizori takes out Cyberduck. So again, the person that did the eliminating getting eliminated. And we see that Sean guy again eliminating Dusto before Sabella eliminates Compton P, and Dusto's return throw in the zombie form eliminates that Sean guy before that Sean guy's zombie ball eliminates PC Load Letter, and then Tuna Slap eliminates Racker. So it's just absolutely frenetic at this point in the game. Vorizori then dodging Tuna Slap takes out Sabella, and Tuna Slap takes out Alderin before Alderin takes out Tuna Slap before Tuna Slap takes out Vorizori. So the game is just literally death incarnate at this point. Zwivix, who I'm not even sure if we've heard from. Have we heard from him all season now? The Civics player?
Yeah, he
A couple times?
That we have. Or maybe I'm just thinking of it because I eliminated him when we played a game.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But I thought he's been around. I mean, he's had a decent season.
Has he? I just don't remember saying his name very often, but there we go.
Let's find out. Where's that commissioner with all the stats?
With all the stats, all the things. So Zwivix, anyway, catches Ball 1, reviving Riska, before Sabella goes on to eliminate Vorizori. Vorizori eliminates Zwivix, and all of a sudden, it's Last Lady standing, Riska standing all on her own with that revival, and Janie's Got a Ball, Pip, Dodgy Deeds done dirt cheap by 1 racer to none. And Dodgy, another team in the hunt, have let the win slip through their fingers.
All right. I just looked up Zwivic's numbers. He is a candidate for comeback player of the year for next season.
Okay, that's a lovely way of putting that. So maybe first round pick for someone next season, much like your boy Tim. Is that what we're saying?
Possibly. I mean, he hasn't done. It's not Tim bad, but when I looked at his stats for the season, for a moment I thought the list was alphabetical, and that's why he was so far down.
Harsh, but ultimately possibly fair.
Yeah.
So with only one of those teams now with a game unfinished, every other competitor for that championship slot has lost. So
Right.
at this point, even if Sweet Catch lose, they're guaranteed a championship playoff if we even win our game.
Right.
So, I suppose we should do an MVP for this match, right?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Spoiler, it's not Zwivix.
It's
Oh, I am going to give it to Sabella.
okay. Yeah,
2 hits, didn't even lose possession of the ball that she won, and 67% win percentage. Plus, to quote her, she's a closer bitch.
it's a true story. It's a very true story. So, congrats to Sabella, and we will move into the final game of this round.
The one game everyone was rooting for an upset, except for
Obviously,
except
Acox,
for the
because he's the worst.
yeah right.
So, court 5, it's Sweet Catch of Mine versus My Bologna. Osmosis Brent had put steroids to the side of the court in an attempt to try and enhance the chances of winning. Let's see what that did as we move into this race. Now, it begins well. Well, if you're on the side of justice and victory, because Sweet Catch of Mine start with only 3 of the race balls. Politask, Duth, Kronos, and Balkan Beans bringing those home, whilst Kincaid, Darklighter, Slavic, and Fire Driller for My Bologna come back with their race balls. But it's Balkan Beans who, when he does start with a race ball, Al, really usually does make it count, eliminating Imam 69 in a rather cruel first ball of the game. Before Morodimo catches Fire Driller, eliminating the German, and Slavic eliminates Acox 89. And then Darth Kronos takes out Patriarch 215. So we're a couple balls in, and there's already been 4 bodies hitting the floor. Looks like it might be a quick game. But Slavic and Darklighter have got something to say about that, as they both catch Darth Kronos and Sturrock respectively, reviving Imam 69 and Fire Driller. So Darklighter misses Sturrock before Morodimo takes out Kincaid, important scalp there. Sturrock dodging Darklighter and Politask eliminating the Wolfhound before Slavic eliminates VQ. And it's looking, it's not looking great for them here. But Slavic dodges a throw from Politask and catches Balkan Beans, eliminating him. However, Balkan Beans unerringly hits the target with his zombie ball as he takes out Slavic. So we've now got Slavic missing Politask with a zombie ball, Morodimo catching Slavic and reviving Acox 89. Politask eliminates Darklighter, Morodimo dodges Darklighter, Politask dodges Darklighter, and Darth Kronos and Sturrock closing out the game with the eliminations of Fire Driller and Imam 69. And the game is over. The season is over. And we have a champion. And it's
Yikes.
captained by Acox 89. Sweet
Right.
Catch of Mine. They didn't even need any assistance from any of the other teams. They just closed out the season with a win. Undisputed top of the table.
And I'd like to point out, while it was the last court, and it was the last one we covered, I believe they were the first game to finish.
They were, yes.
And so what really happened is they finished, they won the season, and I think everyone else who was sort of competing for that tiebreaker was just sort of like, whatever.
They did one of my favorite French words. They just went boff and were like, whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. Or they just didn't want it as much as their competitors. I know Sister Sit desperately wanted that win, so they were very keen to.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever lied so well in my life. Sister Sit didn't care about the win. They're just there for the smack talk. But yeah, no,
That's right.
congrats to Sweet Catch of Mine. They had
Yep.
a rocky start, but they really brought it home in the latter half of the season, winning basically all the rest of their
They really pulled
games.
it together.
Yep.
They had some really great play from some really good players. I mean, I'd like to point out. Uh, well, I'll point this out here in just a bit. Let's do the round MVP and the money ball, and then we'll talk about Sweet Catch of Mine as
Well, we've
champions.
got the match MVP first, I think, haven't we?
Oh, the match MVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. We'll give it to Marauder Mo. He
Okay.
had a
Yeah.
hit and he had 2 catches and an 80% win rate,
It's pretty good
which is
by any which way you cut the
pretty
pickle.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so the round MVP, we're actually, I love this. We're giving it to Drew the Rat. Two
Fantastic.
hits, 2 catches. I mean, 2 hits and 2 catches. That's excellent.
Yeah.
86% win rate, and stepped in out of nowhere,
Fantastic.
which is excellent. But the Moneyball Award, which I think is really interesting, goes to Darth Kronos. This is not the first time he has won Moneyball
This is very true.
this season.
Yeah.
But he's a 6th-round pick for ACOX. He won 80% of his games. He won his race, and he got 2 hits. And honestly, I mean, to get and he was this. I mean, he won Moneyball one other week, but I remember he was in contention for Moneyball a couple times. To get that kind of performance consistently out of your 6th-round pick, week in and week out, really helps propel your team.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, the one thing Cranky likes to point out with all the captains and anybody who's picked later in the draft, that is your opportunity. You want to overperform your draft pick, and you get a much better chance of doing that if you're picked later in the draft. When you're picked in the first, round or two, there's all these expectations about your performance and what you're supposed to do. But when you're picked later in the draft, you get a real opportunity to overperform your pick, and that is where championships are made. So, I mean, I got to give it up to, Politis, Bork and Beans, Marauder Mo, winning it, day in, day out. But VQ Sturrock and especially Darth Kronos just like killing it in those later round picks, I think really helped propel them to the win, the championship.
Absolutely, and speaking from experience, it might feel real good when you get picked in round one. That doesn't necessarily translate to performance, and so there's that juxtaposition, isn't there, between like the egotistical desire to be picked early, but actually, like, it's much better. And I think Adam always says, like, you want to be picked later because you want to be able to overperform your position. And those 3 players you mentioned, VQ Sturrock and Darth Kronos, all did very, very well. Like, some of them rookies in their first season, some of them not so, but all doing really, really well, and not really too many, if any, weak spots on that team. Everyone capable of really putting in good performances. So yeah, very, very well done, Sweet Catch of Mine. That was a very, very, very solid season, and some great captaining by Acox. I've been a teammate of his before. He's a thoroughly nice chap. So huge congratulations to him captaining a winning season. That's always a feel good factor.
Right.
Yeah. And that's apart from Court 3, which might never end. That's basically round 9, and the season all wrapped up in a neat bow. Any highlights for you, Al, this season?
This is the first time I have captained a team since the first season. And I forgot one, how much fun it can be, and how like stressful it can also be. But also just having the control over the team of drafting and picking people you genuinely like to hang out with and chat with is a real. It was a real fun experience. It was something that I forgot. that I hadn't done since the first season, and it was truly enjoyable having all the people on my team that I did. Um, as far as I mean, memories from the season, I mean, I look forward to doing the show every week with you. That was another one that I think this is the second season we've done this,
Yeah,
and I think for being in it for 2 seasons, we're still sort of figuring things out, which is
true
always
story.
fun and interesting. But I still enjoy doing the show. I feel like we would still do this show if no one showed up,
Pretty much.
except Adam to just insult us on how badly we're doing.
And Super
Uh,
Grandma, who apparently thinks it's her show.
well, probably it is.
Probably,
I
yeah.
mean, let's be honest. She's always the first one to show up, ready for the show to go.
I think, in fact,
So,
she used her husband's Wi-Fi phone this week because hers wasn't a strong enough signal. So she just commandeered her husband's phone to make sure she could watch it, which I just loved.
yeah. I don't know. Is there anything from the season that particularly stuck out in your head?
I mean,
Anything you want to highlight?
I'll be honest. I mean, like, teams are drafted in many different ways, and different, like, some people are more stats focused, some people pick the people they want to play with, like, and there's no, I think one of the beauties of dodgeball is there's no wrong approach. Like, you get out of it what you put in, and if you want to kind of hyper competitive focus on it, that's great. And if you want to just hang out and shoot the crap with people and smack talk, that's also fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed reading every single round that Sissa Sit have been involved in, because that team, honestly, Al, is absolutely hilarious. I've enjoyed the gentle ribbing they've given the often disappearing Lux. I've enjoyed the fact that they respect each other so much or so little that no one is sacred, and they will slay their own if they think they'll get a chuckle out of it. I mean, like, for me, dodgeball is about having fun. Yes, winning is fun, obviously, but
Yeah,
I think when you pick a team of people, regardless of their ability, that you want to spend like 8 to 10 weeks hanging out with, and shooting the hay with, and it's fun to do that with people whose company you enjoy. Yeah,
this is true.
that in terms of a
I
kind of,
think.
sorry, carry on.
Well, I was gonna say I think you hit the nail right on the head with dodgeball is about having fun.
Yeah,
And picking people regardless of, we say ability, but really I think what we mean is perceived ability or historic track record. Because if there's one thing I think that we've highlighted with the Moneyball Award or the MVPs is that from week to week, nearly anybody can show up and have a good match. That production can come from anywhere in your draft order. It isn't always the people that you expect. And I think we've also seen with this season players who have improved tremendously from those early seasons to now. Dodgeball makes you a better player, either because you are playing such high quality opponents or getting mentorship from higher draft picked players on your team. I mean, one of the reasons I don't do other than just not having the same amount of time I did before, but not doing the mentorship program anymore, is the dodgeball season sort of works as a mentorship program. I mean, to get access to sort of more experienced players and to learn from them is amazing. And we've seen players who have been in the dodgeball sort of system for a while improving and getting better. So that's also really amazing to see. As always, we have to thank Cranky, of course, for doing all this work and putting everything together. Um, it is a tireless and thankless job, and he does so much for for all of us, it is there is not enough thanks we can give that man.
It's very true, Adam. Like he doesn't ask for anything; he just does it because he enjoys it, and it provides a huge amount to the community, I think. And just echoing what you said about dodgeball filling that mentorship gap, it really does. There's a lot to learn, and dodgeball does make you a better player. I mean, I'm looking down the stats here of the season. Wet Yeti coming in hot with an overall 58 win percentage is probably arguably the standout rookie performance of the season for me. Just looking at numbers, this don't think I'm trying to foreshadow any awards. Nothing I say on the show or Al says on the show in any way influences Adam. He's got his own stuff. If you're looking for real awards that you care about, come to the draft for season 9 and see the awards for season 8 that are real awards. What we do on here is just stuff that is fun, and we're not doing anything that if it's like the Oscars. Like if you win an award, no one cares about it more than you.
Yeah.
But no, I thought
That's right. Also, you have a fair chance of being slapped by Will Smith.
Is that a mic being dropped there? Yeah, I thought Wet Yeti had a great season to come in like that, and it's been like second season of Thunderballs. I've had a lot of fun. Yes, we're not the smoothest that we've been, but I think this season's probably been a little bit better. I feel like I've been a better driver of slides and things like that. But no, it's been fun, and I actually now I almost can't wait for season 9. But I think Commissioner Cranky is going to pop up tomorrow. Our last call for the skirmish. Is that right?
Yeah. So that's the thing is, I mean, one, we need a little break before season 9, but Cranky is organizing the squad skirmish, which is a 3-on-3 sort of faster paced dodgeball. So you still get the sort of team aspect, but it moves a lot faster than the season. It's a great way if you have any friends who play Star Realms who you think would be into dodgeball but don't want to commit them to a full season. This is a great way to introduce them into the dodgeball format, help them sort of get a feel for things, and get them introduced. I believe like Wet Yeti got his start in Squad Skirmish and a few other rookies. But the other thing to keep in mind is what I was saying about captainship. It's stressful, but it's also just a lot of fun. So if you're thinking you're going to be into Squad Skirmish, volunteer to be captain. Get involved. It's a great way to sort of get a taste for captainship and decide if maybe you want to be a captain for a season. So sign up for Squad Skirmish and volunteer to be a captain.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think, as I said, I think Cranky's putting out a last call for that tomorrow, and hoping to kick that off soon after that. There'll almost certainly be either a battle royale or a solo dodgeball event before the next season kicks off. So there's plenty of dodgeball to be had. Yeti's also a chat MVP. There's been a lot of good. Good stuff coming. I actually, looking back, I really did love, and maybe we went a bit too hard on it, but I did love Huanglish, and I did miss not having as much Huanglish towards the latter end of the season. But yeah, I've loved seeing those little snippets from chat, a little window into everyone's chat game. I know I've still got my chat from the season I captained still going, and people still pop in there. It's nice to see kind of those little communities kind of sticking together. It's really fun. But yeah, I mean, if unless you've got anything more, Al, I think it might be time to wrap up season 8.
Yeah, no, Bogart's asleep. So
no Bogart.
I think
you might be risking.
I'm not going to wake him up.
Yeah,
and drag him over to the camera, because that will just end in me getting bitten.
I was going to say that might risk more of your person than you're willing to put on the line for Thunderballs. But
yes.
Wasn't Yeti our singer this season? That is correct, Dusto. Yeti was the singer of that fantastic song. And I think that was episode 2 or 3. But yeah, that was an amazing contribution. And
So
I might, if I can find it down here, I might use that to play us out. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go.
I cannot wait to see, because I mean, really, Dodgeball is all about the fun, the community, the flavor. I cannot wait to see what theme Cranky comes up with for the next season.
Yeah, the next theme's going to be great. But we're gonna play us out with Yeti. Do not stop reviving.
Wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thrown out by a lonely girl. Chaz caught her midnight toss, sending her away. Just an MVP, recognized with Spanish tea. He won the round one prize with outstanding play. Gamblers in a gift-filled room, the sound of heavy metal tunes. For a donut they don't mind a fight. Let's go Chaz, Roll, John, Crank, Brand, Kev, One. Danger balls waiting, up and down authority, their ranches, searching for a hit. Glaze, B-Claw. Why can't we just hit Sabella, trolling somewhere in the thread? Throwing hard, hit with grape fill. This whole group chat is so damn chill. Buying anything to fish the row. Just one more card. Juan will win, John won't lose. Raw got hit and sings the blues. Spreadsheet updates never end. Let's go Chaz, Raw, John, Crank, Brand, Kev, One. Danger balls waiting, up and down authority, their ranches, searching for a hit. V-Glaze, B-Claw, living just to spite Politas, trolling somewhere in the thread. Do not stop reviving. 7 dodgeballs jiving. 1 glitch catches. Do not stop reviving. Hold on. Poop jokes, trash talk. Reviving. This kid will keep striving.